use the difference in my house in, say, the mainland for the balance. So, yeah.
Okay. And again, these are some of the things as far as you mentioned about the benefits. On the previous program when we had Ron Hahn, who was the director for the OBS, pointed out a few things. There are so many different programs out there, but it seems to be a disconnect where service members or veterans are not familiar with some of the rights, that they have, or some of the programs out there that are, are available. So you need to take advantage of that as much as possible. So like I said, there's so many things that we can cover. The first time you've been on the program, and are you working in conjunction with other organizations? I know that you mentioned with the event that's coming up that you're encouraging other organizations to be part of it anyhow. How is it coming? Because one of the things we had talked about previously on the program is the fact that there seems to be a disconnect with the different organizations out there. They have basically the same mission, different qualifications, combat, things of that nature. But the bottom line is they're here to service the veterans. And there seems to be that disconnect with some of you. As commander, what are you trying to do to network or to, to do what you can to work with these other organizations?
Okay, Calvin, one of the things that we're trying to do is to, for us to be like, hopefully, like the main nucleus, and we can get everybody else to come and join us. And the main thing we're trying to do is to help people, like you said, is to service the veteran. I know, like in the old days, the DAV or someone else or VFWs, oh, that's not our thing or whatever, but that's okay. But the thing we have to remember now is that our veterans are getting younger, okay? And they need to grasp onto this. Instead of us, like me, I waited 30-something years before joining an organization because the same thing, mistrust, was misled, didn't know how to go about it. And the only way that I found out about it was by going to the VFW and telling them, hey, I need help with my claims, and they helped me with that. So, but all this stuff about someone being VFW, DAV, it does not matter, because the word in every organization is veteran. It's disabled American veteran, veterans of foreign war, where it's all about the veteran. It's not about the organization. The organization is good to have and get it going to help people. Right. But I think what a lot of people are doing is like, oh, I don't want to do that because this is the way we did this before. I mean, I have a hard time getting guys to use computers in my just for email.
One of the things you mentioned, veteran. All right. A lot of people may not know that even those who served in the military did a couple of years, got out, and they don't know that they're entitled, that they are a veteran, because a lot of people seem to be under the misimpression that someone who maybe did 20 years, that they're only a veteran. But if you did, 180 days or, whatever, you meet that minimum qualification time, you're a veteran, And again, there's so many people, because of that lack of communication, intentional or not, there's a lot of service members out there, former veterans, who are missing out on a lot of benefits. Use it or lose it. That's the only thing I can say, as far as dealing with that.
Another thing to that point is that you have you have guys that are veterans, but they don't even know about what they're entitled to, and that's because when they got out, they just got out and didn't follow up with the VA or anything. But if you're a veteran, even if you're a veteran of a peacetime, or if you only did a certain amount of time, please go down to the VA and check, because you might be entitled to something that you're missing out on, and not just for you, but for your whole family.
That's another, because
and I see a lot of veterans in the street, and I tell them, for an example, my neighbor, who was about 70-something years old, he was a pharmacist assistant during World War II, and he thought he wasn't not entitled to anything because he wasn't in combat. And I took him up to the VA, and he was paying $1,000-something for heart medication from Queens Hospital, I believe, or whatever it is. And I took him to the VA, and that price tag came down to $57 a month.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't know about it, and I said, you know, it's just like, even if you were a Vietnam veteran, but you didn't serve in Vietnam, if you're a Vietnam era, you're entitled to everything that the Vietnam veteran gets.
Vietnam era.
Vietnam era veteran. In other words, if you were like from 65 to 75, if you were in the military but you did not serve in Vietnam, you still get the same rights as a combat veteran that did serve in Vietnam.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one question I want to ask is that, of course, you're always looking for new members, but
course.
if there's any veteran out there, the way it sounds, that if someone were to approach you who was a veteran or is a veteran, and even if they're not a part of your particular group,
Right.
you would still provide assistance for
Oh,
them.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. We would get him up to the VA if he didn't have a way. The Military Order of the Purple Heart, our organization works helping people. It does not work by not helping other, you know, even if they don't have a Purple Heart, still come call us, because we might give you some information that you need that can help you to process your claim. So if at any time you need to call me, 221-6572.
Yeah. Ken,
sir.
what's your contact information? Because there are quite a few people out there nowadays, especially with the, again, you mentioned the economics, you know, what's going on over here, who may not be aware, like I said, what's going on. How can they contact you so they can get more information?
Sure, you can reach me at 808-389-0489. That's Hawaii number.
Okay, good. All right. Again, there's so many things that we can talk about, you know, like later on, like I said, I'd like to have you come back on the program.
Sure.
We can talk about a lot of things. But just to get back, what are some of the things that in the past that your group has done over here?
Okay, last year, I'll give you an example. Last year, because we couldn't do our welcome home veteran thing, because we got word of it pretty late. We got word of it in March. So what we did instead is we took the money we would have spent on this and last year donated it to the homeless vet program.
Yeah.
So it added up to about $2,500. This year, we're adding like another $3,000 and another $1,500 so they can have a tent.
Right.
Because these guys don't have a tent to eat in or anything like that. You know, they usually eating out in the open.
Right. That's another thing I think that a lot of non-military personnel may not understand is the fact that organizations and individuals such as yourself and Ken and you know, a few other what I call unsung heroes and cases that get out there and they are involved with the veterans, but of course you don't see it on the news, you don't, you know, things like that, because a lot of the efforts that's made for the veterans. You know, people are not looking for recognition, you know, and I think even like yourself and, you know, both of you gentlemen, where you kind of get embarrassed when someone does bring it to the attention of other people, you know, of what you're doing, you know, because I know that's not the purpose of what you're, you know, your missionary, you know, it's to go ahead and provide the services or the support for the individuals that need it, you know. But, you know, every once in a while, you know, it doesn't hurt to get a little pat on the back or you know, a thank you, you know, and that's what we do here as far as thanking you for, you know, your service to the country and also for what you're doing right now. But I think that, yeah, there needs to be, I think, more people on the civilian side. Again, we keep reiterating over and over again the fact that many people should get down on their knees every day and thank God that there are individuals who are willing to serve their country. And we have some extraordinary individuals who, you know, there's a misconception with again, like you're referring to the non-military community out there, or the civilians, that everybody in the military is drawing big paychecks and all this good stuff, and then everything is, you know, hunky-dory until something else comes up. You know, the spotlight there. Yeah, big problem here. But, you know, it does help for the people to get involved, you know, even if, like, say, don't have a relative or a friend in the military. Remember those who are serving all of us, and those who have served, you know. So we have an obligation as citizens.
May I mention social media is it's the new rage now.
Yeah.
I saw everybody's getting to go viral, and to that end, if you want to visit my Facebook page, is Hawaii Homes for Heroes, and I will be working proactively with Ray to get more social media exposure for not only his outfit, but hopefully all of the veteran outfits out
I
there.
don't know. Well, maybe we ought to start something new here. You're talking about social media, but I
Yes,
think
sir.
once, that's one thing. But there was an old thing, I want to put a little twist to it, you had telephone, telegraph, televet, So let's try that, as far as getting the word out there.
Amen.
Letting another vet know what's going on.
Well, I want to bring something up too, like when you said, go out there and thank a vet and let them know that you care. What better way of letting know a veteran that you care, but by participating in a function like this that involves the community, and if if you're ashamed to just say thank you, then go do something over here, like set up a little booth and. Even people that pass by, oh, you a veteran? Oh, thank you.
Okay, we're getting down to the wire, but what's your contact information again, and when is this event going to take place?
Okay, it's March 31st. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. At Barbers Point, Kalailoa. And it's going to be, let's see, the point of contact is me or a girl named Luana, but I'll just give you my number, 221-6572. Luana's number is 682-9015, but she's just there on the phone answering if you need a booth. Now, booths are just $10 for 10 by 10, which is the swap meet size,
Right,
so they can put a lot of stuff in there. And
Okay. Just in case, like I said, we get way down the wire, got less than 30 seconds anyhow. But in case this program is someone views this after the event, those numbers are still good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're down to the wire on this one anyhow. Ken, I want to thank you for joining us and coming on the program.
My pleasure, sir.
Commander, again, thank you very much for what you're doing within the veterans community and for the community in general, because I know with a lot of veterans, they are not only concerned about what's happening with the vets, they're also concerned about what's happening in the communities, which is admirable. Okay, at this time, again, thank you for tuning into the program, and my standard, God bless, and until that time.
Oh, perfect.